Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders, great millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Kaya from GMS Indianapolis, branch of Indiana. The original Gary campus, GMS, it will not tarry too. And I just want to do a response to this. GMS are some bands, bitch ass niggas, I suppose. Old scary ass niggas. And I knew that this was going to be the response, okay, when elders and brothers did a response to this video that they did 6, 7, 8 odd years ago, according to them, which is fine if that's true or not. That's not the point. But that's always the angle. Oh, y'all scary. Look, like, you don't know what brothers that have been through in the truth, all right? Brothers ain't nowhere near scary, all right? But that's not even the point. The point is, I watched some of this video at length, 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 33 seconds, which is basically 3 hours worth of guys just hurt, spewing anger and emotion, whatever, right? Whatever. But I caught this early. I'm going to let it play from the 10-minute and 50-second mark, maybe let it play a minute or two. Because what happens is once you start getting all emotional and you let your flesh take over, it be simple or scriptural things that pass by and it don't get accounted for because you responded too emotionally. You're coming too emotionally. So they mentioned the Maccabees. They keep mentioning the law and the Sabbath. I don't know why the people do that, like different guys, when we make videos about them, all right? They always, they revert back to that. Because in this captivity, no one could keep the law perfect. I mean, it's impossible. So is that why they do it? And they try to they try to use that as a gray area? I don't know, but just because you can't keep it possible 100% perfectly, that don't mean you can't execute the perfect effort. Like, you ain't got to get a lining, all right? Let me, because that was connected to my TV. Yeah, you look at these guys, right? These guys be having these crispy linings. That's a law you can actually keep, all right? You don't have to get a lining. You don't have to get an edge up. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to let this play, get a couple scriptures. Lord willing, is edifying.
These the effeminate, docile Negroes that are say we in captivity when the Maccabees died for the law. So you mean to tell me the Maccabees have to stand on the law and die for the law, only for 2,000 years later for these niggas to remix the Bible and say, oh, we in captivity, we don't got to do that no more?
Who's to say they would, if they was back in that day, they wouldn't say that the Maccabees is not being as wise as a
No,
serpent.
this is what they are. That's what I'm saying. These are the same Menelaus. These are the same dudes back on the earth regenerated, hating on the righteous men. Notice they always go at IUIC. They always go at ISUPK. They always go at Sakari. They say we the low.
Well, wait a minute. IUIC, weren't y'all butthurt, for lack of a better term, how IUIC played y'all and upheld the Muslims? Isn't that a reason to go at IUIC? You talk about brotherhood and being brotherly. It's always this brotherly stuff. Well, being brotherly is to correct your brother when he wrong, right? You want to harp on the law and you want to hop on brotherhood. Brakatah Yahbashim Yahushai 1044. You want to harp on the law, right? Brotherhood, the law. All right, that's fine. Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him, right? So did you sin technically by burning the flag? No. But was that a wise decision, all right, for Esau Edom to have ammunition to put you in the box that he wants to put you in? All right? The accuser of our brethren. That word accuser is categoreo, so he can put you into this category. You don't help the devil with his lies. And the scripture says what? Giving no offense that the right? See, I brought this out in my previous lesson regarding you guys, but I'll bring it back out. Okay. Was it, let's see, 2 Corinthians 6? Let me see. 2 Corinthians 6 and 2. 6 and 3. Giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed. All right. So certain things, look, the ministry gonna be blamed already over the truth. So there's no reason to be superfluous. All right. That means extra, adding unnecessary things. All right. Now back to this.
Low hanging fruit, but they got 100 videos on BMS, on B.O.W. I don't know why. We the low hanging fruit, but y'all love talking about us. They always talking about my brother Rata. Damn, Rata ain't said nothing to these jakes. Nothing, not one time. You know what I mean? But they got 100 videos on the brother. Ain't never try to call them, as the scriptures say, inquire, right? Diligently inquire, reach out to find out are these matters true.
All right, I'll read back to
They got
my
100.
point that I had.
They always talking about my brother Rata. 100 videos on the earth regenerated.
Not being as wise as a
Not do that no more.
I hope.
Only for 2,000 years later, when the Maccabees died for the law. No, these are the effeminate, docile Negroes that say we in captivity. When the Maccabees died for the law. So you mean to tell me the Maccabees have to stand on the law and die for the law, only for 2,000 years later for these niggas to remix the Bible and say, oh, we in captivity, we don't got to do that no more?
Yes, the Maccabees, they did live and die for the law, right? But they did it a certain way. So this is First Maccabees 2. All right. And let me start around in 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there, both they and their children, and their wives, and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them. Now when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were going down into the secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. Remember that, Sabbath day. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. Remember that, Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid, but said, let us die, all in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people. All right? So they honored the Sabbath, They went under the, under the direction of, look, we're not going to defile the Sabbath. We're not going to fight. We're not going to war, right? Verse 39, now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said unto another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. Right. So the heathen basically saying, look, the heathen just gonna wait until it's the Sabbath, right? At that time thereof they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him, neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. So they had a council to look that we gonna fight on the Sabbath if it happens. You know why? Because man wasn't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man. Yeah, I wish I said that. All right. Yep. Mark 2:25. And he said unto them, have ye never read what David did when he had need and wasn't hungry? He and they that were with him, how he went into the house of the Most High in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and did eat the showbread, which is not lawful to eat, but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him. And if you read that account, the priests reasoned spiritually. See, what happens is you take the laws, right? You understand what the laws are, right? And then through the spirit, you have a spiritual reasoning when you take into account the actual laws and the actual situation that's going on. All right. John, the third chapter, is it John? It says, for the law came by Moses, but grace and truth came through Yahweh Shai, man. Verse 27, and he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath, right? So in this time we have jobs that require us to work on the Sabbath. All right. Now, is that 100% all us brothers? No, some brothers don't have to. Some brothers got jobs that's versatile enough to accommodate that, or some brothers in the business for themselves. But taking into consideration, you know, the circumstances we're in this world, in this life, it is what it is. The Lord offered, there's grace within that, but you're still striving, to do what's right. That hence the notion, we keep the laws to the best of our ability, right? And there's always some Pepsi drinking, sharp razor edge lined up, chunky nigga, right? Always hollering the law, the law, the law, and the Sabbath, the Sabbath, the Sabbath. I watched about an hour of this, you know, mostly passively. It was a little funny, they was insulting us, we don't get offended by the insults. But he who laughs last laughs best. So why not just get it right, man? But anyway, what I caught was the eternal referencing of the law, the Sabbath, the Sabbath. But here it is, we can see you, right? We can see that crispy, we call it a line and where I'm from. Other people call them edge ups, whatever. You can see that crispy edge up, right? See, here it is. You got simple matters of the law where we can easily keep in this captivity. All right. You don't have to do that. You don't have, certain things you don't have to do versus things where you may have to do, like work on the Sabbath. But you get a pass on that, and then you harp on us working on it, boasting about how I'm needed at my job, I'm useful at my job, so they honor me not working on the Sabbath. Oh, okay, well, y'all keep it Friday to Saturday, all right? Okay, so whatever, right? That's how you keep it. Okay. We don't keep it like that. We keep it according to the scriptures, according to the new moon. All right. So the Sabbath gonna change every month. Not many jobs conducive to that. So anyway, let me see. Okay. Ecclesiastes 7:16. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? And that's what happened to the Assyrians. When you read about that, that was the Assyrians, if I'm not mistaken. All right, in the book of Maccabees. All right. When they didn't fight on the Sabbath, which it was a very pious thing to do, but you take the law and then you take the law, you take the statutes, the commandments, you live by them, and then certain situations will come up and you have spiritual reasoning for those said situations. That's why even when you read Paul's writings, he would speak and be like, okay, well, I say this is not the law, but it's based off his thorough understanding of the law juxtaposed against the times that they were in. All right. So it's like, okay, well, take the advice or don't and see how you fare. You know, it says, be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish, while shouldest thou die before thy time. So with that, Lord's will, this was an edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash. Shalom.